Mr. Investor, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm going to be talking about why I think BFT Foley Corp Paysafe is blowing up today. So as you guys may know, we hit like a 52-week high of $19.57, and then we proceeded to have this tough time where it just completely dropped the stock, and we were down here, and I just think this stock is so undervalued at the moment, even at this price. Since that bottom in the valleys, we are now up almost 17% already, and I think this stock has so much more room to grow, baby. For those of you that are new around here, my name is Miguel, and I look for the biggest, juiciest growth stocks I can find, and I make entertaining videos on them. If you're able to join channel memberships, it helps me to create quick update videos and also deep dive into the facts. It's only 99 cents a month, and you'll be helping me out so much to create quality content. But if you're unable to join, just you hitting the like button and clicking subscribe is enough for me. I appreciate you guys. I love you. Yokely. So this article has just come out today, and it's from the FinTech Times, right? It's talking about the growth of biometric authentication under SCA. So what is SCA? SCA is strong customer authentication. So they're talking about making payments. As you can see here, we're moving towards an era where we'll be using biometric data. So we're talking about facial recognition, baby, as well as other types of biometric information, like we're already paying using fingerprints to get on buses, to also issue payments in the supermarkets. We can just literally put our thumb on our phone, boom, bada boom, and our shopping is paid for. So this article has come out, and it's basically talking about biometric authentication as a security method that uses our biological characteristics to verify our identity when we're doing payments. And now they're speaking about how consumer behavior has changed. So I want to show you two articles in this video showing you where we've come from. Article number 1 from a year ago. This is from Paysafe themselves. They were saying in 2019, customers were reluctant to swap passwords for biometrics for fear of identity fraud. And this article was in London, baby, my very own city. So look at this percentage right here. 56% of these customers, London, UK, are worried that the shift to biometrics is going to dramatically increase the amount of identity fraud. So they were extremely afraid. The research found that 4/5, 81% of consumers still favor passwords for making payments online due to concerns about the security of new biometric options. And a lot of the other problems surrounded trust. So they were saying they have a lack of trust with companies because they don't want companies to have their personal biometric details. But now we can see already, because of the coronavirus and all of this shifting to pandemic, what has happened? The consumer behavior has completely changed. And I'm going to show you a new article now. Also, they're saying that, oh damn man, what if they clone my fingerprint and then they'll be using frauds, and they'll be buying all the panties, and they'll be buying all of the chocolate sauce. And as you can see, for the BFT group, they know what the consumer behavior is going to be like in the future. So they're looking at the future ways that we can increase transactions, increase the efficiency of these transactions. So they're saying biometrics is a huge opportunity for the payments industry to combat the increasing risk of card not present frauds. There's bare of these scam boys that are running around with the cards, you know, and also scouring the internet, putting keyloggers on your computer to find out your passwords. So our first article that we just looked at now was from June 3rd, 2019. Now let's look at the next one. Oh baby, the 13th of February 2020. Growing consumer trust in biometric authentication. So I think we've managed to see that a lot of people we've managed to swing. So previously in that article and the one before, we could see that 56% of people still favored passwords. But they're saying they can see now that the biometrics will be key to authenticating payments once the legislation mandating strong customer authentication SCA is in full force. So the legislation is a new European regulatory requirement which aims to reduce frauds and increase the security of online payments. And guess what happened today? The first day of 2021 was potentially the most significant of the year for the payments industry. That's because after several delays, the deadline for the SCA enforcement under the new EU Second Payment Services Directive PSD2 has now passed. So this regulation mandates that issuers no longer need to take a risk-based approach to card not present transactions. So payments that do not satisfy the criteria laid out by the directive will be blanketly declined. So this strong customer authentication is basically a multi-factor authentication for creating any transaction, so card not present transactions. So this being said, consumers now must verify using a payment method that has at least 2 methods of identification, I think. So I think this is going to push us into biometric information. So it's either they're going to use, I don't know, our eyes, or they're going to use facial recognition, and they're going to use thumbprints. So this is going to boost the number of transactions and the ease of payments. So now here's some of the studies that they found for the FinTech Times. They were talking about how they commissioned a survey of 8,000 consumers globally, which included questions about the level of security they face when completing transactions online. So 76% of these people said they would like to see stricter security measures implemented, and an even more telling 51% of the people surveyed said that they would tolerate any level of inconvenience if that meant that their payments were more secure. So overall, there are strong arguments that consumers will be more favorable of a payments process requiring multi-factor authentication, not less. And therefore, online checkouts are going to be 3DS2 enabled, which will enhance conversion. So this part's going to show you some really important information from the consumer's perspective. So check this out. Biometrics have already become the norm for a lot of people. The largest of these biometric projects globally is the Aadhaar identification project in India. So this stores biometric data of 1.25 billion people, baby. So other global industries where personal authentication is essential, such as travel and border control, they're also rapidly turning to biometrics as a solution to their issues, which have been exacerbated by COVID-19. So now basically what they were saying was consumers that want a more secure online checkout will become educated on why biometrics is safer than passwords, and those that rely on speed as well at the checkout will prefer the ease of facial or fingerprint over password entry. So literally just bada boom and we're done. And I don't know if you guys remember this, I actually looked at this kind of research group as well, and they were predicting that biometrics will be used for over 18 billion transactions in just this year 2021, and the value of these transactions will be over $210 billion. So not only is Paysafe increasing the ability for it to earn income by getting all these partnerships and integrating their software, but these guys are also focusing on consumer behavior and also the payment methods of the future. So this is very interesting to see, and the more they innovate and get ahead of the game, the bigger their income can be. Just like we've seen Square Inc. I want to tell you about Square Inc. They started off just with their little Square kind of card reader. They started off, you know, with merchants in coffee shops and stuff like that, and they quickly branched out to having now a cash app, which acts as like a stockbroker and a peer-to-peer payment system. And then they had Square Capital, where they're able to lend money using an algorithm to make sure it's safe to lend that person money, but they're lending small and medium-sized businesses capital where the banks wouldn't necessarily lend them money. Not only that, but they're looking at the underserved and the underbanked, which is exactly what Foley Transamine Corp is doing. So Square, I think, is going to try and access and tap into the kind of African market. So all of these people who are underbanked and underserved, who don't necessarily have bank accounts, they're going to give them digital wallets. I think we're going to see something similar with BFT, and I also think that the way BFT is going in terms of also giving people with cash the ability to pay online like Moldova is brilliant. If you guys enjoy these kind of quick perspective, up-to-date points of views on some of these stocks, please let me know in the comments down below, my cowboys and cowgirls. And if you're able to join as a member, I would love to have you as part of the family. It really helps me create up-to-date information for you guys. But if you're unable to join, just you hitting the like button and clicking subscribe means the world to me. So I love you guys. Let me know what you want me to cover next. I appreciate you and I thank you for always supporting me. Mr. Investor over and out, baby. Yippee-ki-yay! Woo!